If you are of age, two things pop up when you hear the names Red Berenson and Garry Unger. With Red, the 6 goals. With Garry, the Iron Man streak. And when they were traded for each other, we first thought, oh, you can't trade Red. A year later, you thought, boy, I'm glad we have Garry. The new Hall of Famers are tonight's Cardinal Buick Sunday Conversation. Let me take you back to February 6, 1971. You're traded for Red Berenson, and Berenson is one of the most popular Blues. You're the young guy that we don't know that well. How difficult was that for you?
I knew Red was the leader of the team, the captain of the team. He had just scored 6 goals in Philly, and I was kind of an unknown. I don't think to the hockey world in St. Louis, too many people knew who I was. So it was difficult walking in that dressing room with Barkley and Bob and Noel Picard and all the leaders on that team. And Red was the main guy. So it took a while to settle in.
How shocking was that for Red Berenson when it happened?
Well, it was tough. Obviously, we were solidly entrenched with the Blues in St. Louis as a family. As an athlete, I guess I was captain of the team that year. I might have been leading scorer. Things were going well, but there was some unsettling feeling about my presidency of the Players Association, and I think that was part of the trade. Now, nevertheless, they got a great player, a great young player in Garry Unger, and so I was now the older player. Went to Detroit, and the trade was not popular in Detroit, I can tell you that, because they lost a young up-and-coming superstar.
Do you think part of the trade was made because you did not want to get your hair cut in Detroit? There's a wild rumor running around about that. Any truth to it at all?
Pete Stemkowski was my roommate, and he called and kind of warned me because he had to go get his hair cut and put it in an envelope to show Ned Harkness that he got his hair cut. Ned didn't want any of the hair touching your ears, but whether that was part of the deal, I don't know.
Does your wife know to this day that you were adored by so many women in St. Louis when you played?
Well, there was a time when it was difficult because she was my girlfriend. She lived in London, Ontario, where I played junior. And there were times when she came into town and girls would show up at the door with birthday cakes and different things. And all of a sudden, I had to explain a few things. But luckily, we made it through that time. And she's still with me.
You had so many memorable moments as a member of the Blues. Of course, the number one was the 6-goal night. The crazy thing is, any video of that at all available? And have you ever seen video of you scoring those 6 goals?
No. The game was on television, but back at that time, the TV stations would erase the whole game as soon as it was over. There were no replays, there were no highlights, and so I never saw anything. I don't think anybody has anything of that game. I mean, what we have is a great broadcast on the radio from Dan Kelly, and his enthusiasm and the way he could explain things, I think, says it all. And a big part of it was my teammates getting the puck to me at the right time, at the right place. And I just happened to have a good night or a lucky night.
And at its best, what was it like getting on the ice, all the women with the beehive haircuts, the guys in coat and ties, and the band playing when the Saints go marching in? Describe that emotion when you hit the ice.
Well, that was an amazing and different feeling than any other rink that I've been in my life. Walking out of that dressing room, coming down the stairs onto the St. Louis arena, where the fans and the people were so loud that you could hardly hear yourself think.
It was amazing. And I played for Montreal and New York before I got to St. Louis, but nothing came close to the way the fans were in St. Louis. It was special. They dressed up. They knew it was an important event. The arena was a showpiece at the time. The Solomons painted every nook and cranny in that building to make it feel like it was brand new.
And how about going in together in the Blues Hall of Fame class of 2023?
Well, there's nobody more deserving than Red. The guys that I'm going in with, Scotty and Red and Glenn Hall are they're legends of the game.
It just was a memorable time, and then to have this honor 55 years later, it's pretty mind-boggling. But nevertheless, it starts with the players, the ownership, and all the good memories.